Welcome to our New York City Public Schools student teacher information session. We are going to get started. Before we begin, I just want to talk through some features of the GoToWebinar app. Make sure to use the Q&A function to submit feedback, questions, and ideas as we move on. We'll make sure to share anything in the chat that's relevant throughout the session as well. I have my colleague in the chat answering questions. We'll answer as many as we can during the session. And if we can, we'll answer some questions at the end as well. This session is being recorded. You will receive a recording of this webinar after it is concluded. Throughout the webinar, we will share QR codes to various resources. You can use the camera on your smartphone to scan these QR codes, but do not worry if you miss something. Again, we will send out the recording of this webinar with the resources that we shared during this session. First and foremost, I want to make sure you're writing down this website, teachnyc.net. This is really the ultimate resource for all things related to New York City Public Schools, and it's been recently redesigned to provide great new resources and tools to help you learn about New York City Public Schools and to find the pathway to teaching that's right for you. As part of this new website, we have a new subscribed form. I highly recommend everyone subscribe. I just sent the link in the chat. Take a moment, please, and make sure you subscribe so that you're on our list and you're hearing about all of the events that we have going on throughout the year and all of the great opportunities that we have for you. Today, as I said, is our session for current student teachers. So if you are a current student teacher or have done your student teaching during this school year in New York City Public Schools, this is the session for you. We're going to share information about teaching in New York City Public Schools and about the application and hiring process. So this presentation will cover a range of topics. We'll start with an overview of New York City Public Schools. Then we'll share some information about our student teacher program and the exclusive resources that are available for you as student teachers. I'll then talk about the teacher application process and the steps you can expect and the resources you should take advantage of as you're doing that application. I'll talk a bit about the job search process, and then I will conclude with questions and next steps. So our goal is for you to walk away with a good understanding of how you can start the process to begin your teaching career at New York City Public Schools. So in this section, I'll do a brief overview of New York City Public Schools. I'll give a little snapshot of the district. I'll talk about the benefits you could expect having a career here, and teacher supports and opportunities offered by New York City Public Schools. This is our new chancellor, Kamar Samuels. As a lifelong educator who has served our system as a teacher, principal, and superintendent, and as the parent of 2 New York City Public School students, I know firsthand that our schools are the heart of our communities. I believe that our students from early childhood through graduation deserve schools that are safe, academically rigorous, and truly integrated. They should know that their children are learning the fundamentals, starting with reading, and are being challenged academically, guided by high expectations, strong instruction, and teachers who believe in them. So those are the words of our chancellor. We like to read those to really ground us in the chancellor's vision. When you join New York City Public Schools, you join the largest and most dynamic school district in the nation, with over 900,000 students who speak over 180 languages and a network of 77,000 fellow teachers. New York City educators really have the unique privilege and responsibility to jumpstart the next generation of innovators, leaders, and citizens. Students here at New York City Public Schools represent a wide range of backgrounds, identities, languages, and learning needs. And they need teachers who reflect their diversity and are ready and able to support their learning. So whatever your background, experiences, and skill sets are, there are students in New York City Public Schools classrooms waiting for a teacher like you. New York City has 1,600 schools that are as diverse as our students and the neighborhoods that we serve. So from neighborhood schools with deep roots in their local community to small thematic schools in the performing arts, we have schools with a focus in STEAM, humanities, dual language schools. So whatever your interest or passion may be, there is a school at New York City Public Schools for you. And you can choose a school that fits your teaching philosophy and have the opportunity to engage with a community of like-minded professionals. Within our schools, our teachers build personal connections with their students, their colleagues, and the families in the community to support relationship building and learning outcomes. We'll talk later about how to find your fit and navigate the job search process in New York City Public Schools. The New York State class size law means opportunities for educators in New York City are only growing. So we're hiring thousands of additional teachers this year to ensure classrooms citywide are in compliance with the class size law. So really there are lots of opportunities right now. It's a good time to be interested in starting a career at New York City Public Schools. New York City Public Schools is always growing as well. We have new schools opening each year. This fall, we have 7 new schools opening. So again, a time of lots of opportunity. So who are we looking for? New York City Public Schools is dedicated to attracting and retaining the very best teachers for our schools. We're looking for passionate, collaborative, committed teachers who reflect the incredible diversity of our student body. Our team of exceptional educators are really passionate about educating urban students and really believe in the power that education can make in students' lives. Our teachers thrive on constant learning and collaborating with their colleagues. And they're committed. Our teachers go above and beyond for their students. They understand students' challenges and embrace their potential. And as I said, we seek teachers who are as diverse as our students. So become a teacher with us, help put students on the path to college, careers, and a lifetime of learning. As you all know, as student teachers, teachers have impacts that extend well beyond the classroom. Teachers impact student achievement 2 to 3 times more than any other aspect of schooling. So among school-related factors, studies show that teachers matter the most. When it comes to student performance on reading and math tests, teachers have 2 to 3 times the effect of any other school factor, and that includes services, facilities, even school leadership. Research has shown that a teacher's impact on their own class has what they call spillover effects for the entire school. So when you make an impact on the students within your own class, those students then go on to raise the level of achievement in all of their future classes. In a given school year, a teacher can make a huge impact on the students in their class. Students who can read proficiently by the end of 3rd grade are significantly less likely to drop out of high school, and graduating from high school is associated with major life benefits, including increased wealth, health, and likelihood of employment. So becoming a teacher means having really important long-term impacts on the community. What are some of the benefits of teaching in New York City Public Schools? Well, you make a difference in the lives of your fellow New Yorkers, maybe even those in your local community. You focus on building a better future, using your skills to help develop the nation's next leaders, innovators, and educators. You build relationships with colleagues who are also dedicated to a shared goal. You'd be joining a robust network of over 70,000 teachers. Here you can hear from 2 of our New York City Public Schools teachers. The first on the left here is Sergio. Sergio graduated from Brooklyn College, and now he teaches middle school English language arts. And here he says, if you're here, it's because you are passionate about education and helping students learn in the most diverse city in the world. On the right, we have Charlene. Charlene teaches science in a high school that's focused on supporting English language learners. And she has the opportunity to support students during these really critical years as they're learning English and preparing for college study in the health sciences. So she says, working and living in New York City affords you a range of opportunities you just don't see elsewhere. We love giving you the opportunity to hear from our teachers directly. So here is a brief video from one of our teachers, Ohesi Feliz, and you can hear about her experience.
I've always wanted to work with kids. My bachelor's degree was in psychology and sociology. I decided that instead of going that route, I wanted to pursue my education master's and start teaching. What's beautiful about teaching now is that we are all in this together. We all work together. We all collaborate together. I'm here to facilitate. I'm not here to lecture them for the entire period. They get to experience learning with each other. They get to experience making mistakes and learning from their mistakes. They get to experience exploring. Go for it. Being a teacher is is like no other career. It's just so amazing how you can come into a building and work with a group of kids. You're shaping the future. Working in the community that I grew up has made me the person that I am today. I know the world better, and that's because I am a teacher and I work at PS 178 and I work in New York City and I work in Washington Heights, and I love it.
I want to share a little bit of information on our salaries here at New York City Public Schools. As of September 14th of 2026, salaries will start at $71,314 for those with a bachelor's degree and no experience, and around $80,000 for those with a master's and no experience. Teachers' starting salaries vary based on education and experience, and you can earn additional compensation for teaching after school or summer school programs as well. Or for teaching in demanding environments. Our office is not able to predict what your starting salary will be based on your experience and educational attainment. You can estimate your starting salary by visiting the UFT's salary schedule if you scan this QR code on the slide here, and that will help you estimate what your salary might be. If you are eligible for a higher salary due to your experience or educational attainment, you will need to apply for a salary step when you begin teaching full-time at New York City Public Schools. You cannot apply before then. Great. I want to share, looking ahead at your career at New York City Public Schools, what you could expect your salary to be over the course of your career here. So if you were currently in your 8th year of teaching at New York City Public Schools with your master's degree plus 30 additional credits and some professional development courses, you would be at $106,907. If you had 15 years of experience with the same master's degree and the same 30 credits and professional development courses, you'd be at $128,277. Remember, this is using the pay scale for this year, so these rates are subject to increase with your yearly raises negotiated in the UFT contract. You can find additional resources regarding salaries on the following web pages. Again, you can use your phone to scan the QR codes, but don't worry if you don't get a chance to scan and save all of these links. We will share the recording and these resources after the session. Now we'll share a bit about the robust benefits that we offer at New York City Public Schools. Teachers get a comprehensive health insurance plan, which includes dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Some of the plans require no employee contribution. Annual retention bonuses that are prorated during your first year and increase each year. You get membership with the United Federation of Teachers, enrollment in a pension plan. New York City Public Schools employees are also eligible for many additional benefits, including commuter benefits, a college savings program, and employee discounts on everything from technology and media to travel and education. In addition, scholarships, financial incentives, and other special programs are available for many employees as well. There are also exciting loan forgiveness programs you could be eligible for as a New York City Public Schools teacher. New York City Public Schools employees may be eligible for the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, PSLF. The PSLF program forgives the remaining balance on your direct loans after you've made the equivalent of 120 qualifying monthly payments under an accepted repayment plan and while working full-time for an eligible employer. So there's a chance you could take advantage of this program as well. New teachers in New York City Public Schools hit the ground running with professional resources and learning opportunities that are tailored just for them. And this is in addition to the many career development opportunities that are available to all teachers. We offer robust supports for new teachers in person, online, and in community settings. And I'll highlight a few of these here. New Teacher Week. New Teacher Week is an annual event where new teachers get inspiration from special guest speakers, learn about key policies, engage with the United Federation of Teachers, or UFT, and network with their fellow teachers as well. New York City Public Schools also offers school-based mentoring. New hires with an initial or Trans B license are assigned an experienced and trained mentor to support your professional growth throughout your first year. You'll also receive the First Class newsletter, which is a monthly digital bulletin just for first-year teachers, spotlighting vetted resources, teaching tips, and answers to common new teacher questions. Teachers in New York City Public Schools, no matter where they are in their careers, also have access to professional development opportunities at their schools. This includes coaching, professional development days, after-school learning opportunities. And in addition to these school-based supports, there are also optional development opportunities made available by various teams, including New York City Public Schools offices and the UFT. We also offer digital resources for busy teachers to find resources for their classroom and regularly stay connected to opportunities to extend their learning and impact. I'm going to play this video so you can hear from a teacher about her experience working with her mentor.
I was fortunate that my principal let me become her mentor. I feel it makes teaching even more enjoyable because you're responsible to hear out your mentees' ideas, and we get to learn from each other, like our different teaching styles.
Being open to feedback, because at the end of the day, your mentor wants you to be a better teacher. They're not trying to criticize you.
To be a new teacher coming to New York City, it can be intimidating, and to know that you're going to have someone within your academic subject area to support you is something that I think everyone should know that is offered from New York City.
We have a lot of phys ed teachers that were able to collaborate, we're able to share ideas to make the experience better for the students. Some students are individual and some do have different triggers. It's nice to ask a veteran teacher, you had this student for 3 years, what did you do that helped this student?
Other people have the same issues. It's not just you. You're not alone on an island. Like, other people are experiencing the same thing, veteran teachers, rookie teachers.
We're very fortunate here, and being able to just bounce ideas off and learn from what other people are doing is just so great.
We love to give you the opportunity to hear from our teachers directly, and the mentor-mentee relationship is such an important part of the first year, so hopefully that gave you some insight into what that relationship can be like. I want to share some information on teacher leader opportunities that offer an opportunity to earn up to an additional $20,000 a year. If you take on one of these leadership opportunities, your responsibilities might include leading a laboratory classroom, facilitating professional collaborations, coaching some of your peers and colleagues, and advocating in leadership conversations. So if you are thinking about your long-term career at New York City Public Schools, you can consider potentially becoming a model teacher, a master teacher, a peer collaborative teacher as part of your career progression. If you scan this QR code, you can learn more. You can go to our website that I showed at the beginning, teachnyc.net. We have lots of information. And again, we'll share out the recording and the information after the session. I'm going to move into our next section here and talk a little bit about the New York City Public Schools Student Teacher Program. What are the benefits that you can take advantage of as a student teacher? What are some events and workshops that are coming up? And how to make sure that you're on our list so that you're hearing about all of these opportunities. Our flagship student teacher program, in collaboration with host schools, universities, and principals looking to hire new talent, provides student teachers with access to a wide range of exclusive resources, career opportunities, and professional development that's tailored to the student teacher journey. So I'll highlight some of these resources here. Personalized mentorship. As a student teacher, you all take advantage of the relationship with a cooperating teacher or a mentor teacher who is selected by the principal and your college or university representative. As exemplary educators, they've undergone training to effectively supervise your student teaching experience, guiding you through practical challenges and enhancing your learning. We also offer information sessions like the one you're at right now to help you gain insights into the certification and hiring process, along with best practices and tips for success that can help you stand out in the application process. We also offer professional development opportunities where you can engage in professional learning sessions that are designed to bridge your student teaching experience with New York City Public Schools' key instructional priorities. We have a monthly student teacher newsletter so that you can stay informed with updates, tips, and new opportunities within New York City Public Schools while building a network of support. And we also offer early commitment support. I'll talk about this a bit later, but student teachers are supported in connecting with hiring managers in priority districts as early as March to get ahead in the job search. Student teachers who are hired by June 15th are at an eligible school could be eligible for a one-time bonus. I'll share more about that later. We also offer informational webinars. You can attend webinars to teach effective networking and interview skills and talk about navigating the job search process. And they can offer some really valuable insights into how to research schools and craft a standout resume and make sure that you're tracking your progress towards certification. As part of the student teacher program, we offer events and opportunities that are designed just for student teachers. So we have information sessions like this one, job search workshops, networking events, professional learning sessions, career and professional readiness workshops. I want to highlight a networking session that's coming up on April 22nd. This is the Grow Your Career, Teach Where You Belong networking session that is specifically for student teachers. So at this event, you would have the opportunity to meet principals who are hiring for the 2026-27 school year, hear from New York City Public Schools leaders and new teacher mentors. You'll receive application support and really just get the opportunity to network not only with fellow student teachers, but with schools that are hiring across the city. So I really recommend that you attend. I can make sure to share the link to register for this event in the chat at the end. I don't have it on hand, but I will send it in the chat as we get to the end here. I want to share, as I said, we like for you to hear from our teachers and student teachers themselves. In a survey, last year's student teachers shared some really great feedback about their experience student teaching in New York City Public Schools classrooms. One student teacher said, "I really feel that student teaching has prepared me to be a better teacher." Another said, "Student teaching made me want to be a part of the school community." Another said, "I had space to explore, try new things, and find my way as the teacher I want to be." We really want to make sure our student teachers have the supports and resources they need to secure full-time employment at New York City Public Schools after they graduate, so that they can continue to build on this experience. When the application is open, we recommend applying early. The application is open now, and the best thing to do is apply early so that you can take advantage of the full scope of opportunities that are available, particularly early commitment, which I'll talk about shortly. In the survey, 50% of student teachers reported that they accepted full-time jobs in the district where they student taught. A New York City Public Schools first-year teacher said, "For those who value connection, purpose, and the joy of helping others reach their potential, teaching is not just a job, it's a calling." We also want to hear from you. So if you're a student teacher teaching at New York City Public Schools, this says fall 2025, but also this spring, either please make sure to scan, and we want to hear about your experience. Here you have an opportunity to register to make sure that you are hearing about all of the benefits and opportunities available to student teachers. If you scan this QR code on the right here, you can make sure that you are on our list. So you're hearing about all of our events, our professional development opportunities, you're getting that monthly newsletter. So again, we'll send this out after, but please make sure to scan the QR code and get on the list. I'll move into this next section now where I can talk a bit about the application process, how to apply, the application timeline, and the upcoming deadlines. All New York City public school teachers must hold a valid teaching certificate from the New York State Education Department. It is a requirement for a permanent teaching position at a New York City Public Schools. Most of our applicants have already earned their certification or will have it by the time they begin full-time teaching. If you're a teacher in a, if you are enrolled in a teacher preparation program, which most of you likely are, or you hold a teaching certificate in another state, you have to apply for New York State certification at nysed.gov. You should submit your New York City teacher application while you are completing your certification requirements or while you're waiting for your certification. This is super important. You do not need to wait until your certification is finalized in order to apply. I want to share some information about internship certification. If you're not graduating this year, you could still start teaching before you graduate under an internship certification. Additionally, if you are at a certain point in your, if you're at a specific point in your schooling, this could apply to you. So internship certification is a 2-year certificate, and it's available to students who have completed at least 50% of an approved New York State graduate program that leads to an initial certificate. This helps us meet the immediate needs across New York City, and you have the opportunity to obtain hands-on teaching experience while you finish completing your degree and your certification requirements. And under an internship certificate, you would begin earning a full-time teaching salary while you're still in school. How do you apply? Well, you complete the New York City Public Schools teacher application, and then you'll need to upload a letter from your university about your internship certification eligibility. Those are the next steps you need to take. The first thing is to complete the New York City Public Schools teacher application and talk to your university about getting this letter. We have more information on internship certification at our website, teachnyc.net as well. Everyone who is interested in teaching for the upcoming school year must complete the New York City Public Schools teacher application. When you are applying to teach in New York City Public Schools, you should think of several important action steps. They're not necessarily shared here in order, but if you're thinking, should I wait to be certified before I apply? I'll repeat this many times. All teacher candidates should absolutely apply before their certification is issued. Applying before you are certified is recommended and expected, so definitely do not wait until after your certification comes to apply. This could delay your potential employment with New York City Public Schools. As I said, you'll get your teacher certification through the New York State Education Department. It's important to note that NYCED, the New York State Education Department, is a separate entity from New York City Public Schools. And NYCED is the entity that issues certifications. So in short, if NYCED says you're certified, then you're ready to be hired under your certification. You want to make sure that you're working closely with your college university certification office to ensure you're completing all of the certification requirements. Certifications are now issued on a rolling basis, so the faster you're certified, the easier it is for you to get hired. I'm going to share some information here about our early commitment program that's very exciting. Right now, regardless of the subject that you are certified in or expect to be certified in, you could be eligible for an early commitment stipend. Schools in select districts can make hiring commitments to candidates between March and June. So this is an opportunity for you to secure a position before school budgets are released in June. And the stipend amount differs by district. So here on the left, you can see the districts that are eligible, and on the right, the stipend amount that you would be eligible for if you get an early commitment from those districts. So this is a great reason to submit your application early. If you submit your application early, you could be eligible for these stipends. We have a peak hiring application deadline coming up on May 7th. So you have time, but make sure that you're doing everything you need to submit your application by May 7th so that you can take advantage of these early commitment opportunities and really make the most of the hiring season. When you are ready to start your application, you'll go to teachnyc.net. This is where you will go to apply. You will see an Apply Now button under the Apply Today dropdown. As you can see, the application is open. It says Certified Teacher Application is open. You would just click that Apply Now button and it will take you to the application. We also have an application guide that's on our website. So make sure that you're using the application guide as you complete the application, and it really takes you through step by step. We want to make sure we're sharing some stats from this past hiring season. Close to 30% of applications were started before March. Over 40% of hires were completed before July 15th. The application took an average of 8 days for folks to submit. It definitely doesn't require 8 days, but if you want to read it over and be super careful about it, understood, but you could definitely do it in a day. It took an average of 83 days between application submission and hire. So make sure you're submitting your application ASAP. All of this really goes to show you want to get that application submitted as soon as you can. And I'll underscore again, you don't have to have your certification in hand to submit this application. We have put together this resource for recent graduates. We know many of you are graduating this year, so this resource outlines the steps to a teaching job for the fall. Note that these steps don't necessarily have to be completed in this order, but you can scan this QR code. Again, we'll share the resources after the session as well. This slide shows the full application process. On the left here, you can see completing the comment profile. That's the first step of completing your application. I'll walk through these steps in more detail as we continue through the presentation. The second step is completing your New York City Public Schools teacher application, submitting the application so that in step 3, New York City Public Schools can review the application. These are reviewed on a rolling basis. Once your application is approved, you're entered into the new teacher finder. This is where you can see job openings across the city. Principals can find you, and you can search. Search for openings and communicate with principals as well. Then you can begin your job search at New York City Public Schools, researching schools, reaching out to principals, and start teaching in this upcoming fall. These are the steps of the applicant profile. This is the first part of the application. The application is broken into 2 parts. The first is this applicant profile. The second part is the teacher application, and you must complete both sections in order to complete your teacher application. So these are some of the parts of that applicant profile. You'll share information on your account. You'll share account information and work eligibility. This step asks you for basic contact information and a few questions regarding your work eligibility. To be eligible to work in New York City, you must meet citizenship and/or residency requirements, and you must complete all parts of the eligibility question, especially if you answer yes to the work authorization status and indicate your specific status. Then you'll have to share information on your education history for both high school and post-secondary education. You'll share information on your work experience. This experience can be used to help inform your starting salary when you're hired. For this reason, the accurate input of professional information or professional experience is really important. So I advise you to take some time on that section. Additional information, applicants can attach their resume in this section. I'll note attachments cannot exceed 1 megabyte in size. We encourage you to upload your resume as a PDF to preserve the formatting. As you progress through the teacher application, you can customize your resume when you complete your profile and apply for specific positions. Lastly, you'll read through the disclaimer and release statement to acknowledge submission of information into the application system. So then we move on to part 2. The main items required for the application are certification documentation. This is proof of certification or a letter from your university stating that you're on your way to being certified by September. Information on your resume, work history, academic history, professional references. Additional components include a personal statement. Really, we're looking for evidence that demonstrates you're a polished professional who has thoughtfully submitted an application to New York City Public Schools. In the job search profile of the New York City Public Schools teacher application, there are multiple questions that allow you to specify preferences for grade level, borough, and program type. For grade level, you can select your grade level preferences in this part of the application. This preference should match your certification areas. So don't select a preference for a grade level that you aren't certified to teach. Borough preference, you can indicate the locations where you would be most interested in finding a job. As you might know, New York City Public Schools is the largest school district in the country, operating over 1,600 schools in the 5 boroughs. So therefore, your understanding of your preferences in terms of where you'd like to work is really important for our staff. The first question looks at your top 3 borough preferences. If you're only willing to accept a position in 1 or 2 boroughs, please mark those 1 or 2 boroughs in the first and second preference sections, and please mark no preference for the third borough option. You can revisit this section of the application as often as you'd like. So if your circumstances change throughout the hiring season, you can go back and adjust the preferences that you previously shared. Then you'll have an opportunity to indicate your District 75 preference. District 75 is a non-geographic district providing quality and rigorous individualized educational programs to students with significant challenges. If you are in an eligible certification area, your resume may be shared with District 75 schools in the geographic regions you have specified. You can also indicate interest in working with District 75 to help District 75 principals focus on your application. So if you're interested, make sure to indicate your interest in that section. For each certification or extension that you hold, you'll be asked to input the following information: certification status, certification type, subject area, grade level, certification issue date or expected issue date, your educational pathway to certification. So did you attend a traditional teacher preparation program? Did you participate in a certification program like New York City Teaching Fellows? Likely not relevant to those of you on the call. Note that you need to enter this information for each certification and extension that you hold or expect to have by September. I will note one of the most common reasons why teacher applications get held up during the review process is that they do not upload the correct or current supporting documentation showing they're certified and or on track to be certified. If you hold a New York State teacher certification already, you'll need to submit an electronic copy of your current unexpired teacher certification or a screenshot of your Teach account showing your current active New York State certification. If, and this might be the case for many of you, you are on track to receive your certification by September of 2026, you must submit an on-track letter completed by your college or university. If you scan the QR code here, you can find a sample of one of these letters. It's also on our website, teachnyc.net, in our on-track section. You will need this letter and you will need to submit it with your application. And this allows you to apply before you have your certification in hand. I highly recommend talking to your university to get this letter so that you can submit that application, take advantage of early commitment opportunities. Here you can see our typical application and hiring timeline. The application opens in January and remains open through the summer. There's a lot of mid-year hiring that takes place in the early winter months, and then principals begin hiring and interviewing for the following school year. Early commitment, as I said, is an initiative for candidates to be able to accept positions prior to budgets being released for peak hiring. I shared this year we have exciting stipends available. And then finally, peak hiring is in June and continues through August. So I really recommend taking advantage of this early commitment period if you can. To sum everything up, in order to teach at New York City Public Schools, you must first be certified. So you need to be completing the requirements and make sure you're applying for your New York State teaching certificate. Then you submit a New York City teacher application at teachnyc.net. And remember, you do not have to wait for your certification to be in hand to apply. And finally, you find a position. You'll do your own outreach and networking, which we will speak to in the next section here. Finding your fit. I will talk a bit about high need subject areas, finding the right position, and give you a little intro to the new teacher finder. One way you can promote success in your job search is by considering districts, neighborhoods, and schools where your talents are most needed. If you are certified in certain high demand subject areas, this is especially true. If you are really determined to work at New York City Public Schools, you should think strategically about where you're looking for a position. If you want to go where the jobs are, definitely consider teaching in the Bronx and Brooklyn. This year, 52% of our new hires occurred in schools in these two boroughs. It's important that you find a school that's the right fit for you, but make sure you don't exclude schools because they're slightly out of your comfort zone or in a different borough from where you live. Almost all of our schools are easily accessible by public transportation, and we have students who need great teachers in all 5 boroughs. While New York City Public Schools hires across all certification areas, we want to highlight the current hiring priorities for New York City Public Schools. These priorities certainly shift from year to year based on the needs of our schools, but here we have some common high need areas. If you're not yet certified, you could even consider adding an extension to your certification. These are areas where we know principals will be hiring and where there's a high demand for more teachers to be certified. We encourage you to consider one of these areas where teachers are in high demand. If you have an extension or a certification in one of these subject areas, it might be wise to leverage it to increase your job prospects. I'm going to share a little bit about early childhood education here. Studies show that children enrolled in quality early childhood are better prepared academically, socially, and emotionally to succeed in elementary school and beyond. This is why New York City Public Schools has made it a priority over the last several years to provide high-quality early childhood programming for all New Yorkers. With that goal in mind, our pre-K initiative is currently servicing all 32 districts and supporting over 40,000 students. Early childhood teacher candidates can work in one of 4 early childhood settings in New York City: district schools, pre-K centers, charter schools, or community-based organizations known as CBOs. You can see the 4 settings represented here on the My Schools map, which is a free online resource for all prospective teachers. The different settings are represented by different colored hands, which you can see on the right side of the screen. So first we have district schools and pre-K centers, which are the light blue and dark blue hands. District programs are early childhood classrooms located in district elementary schools. There are about 700 across New York City. Pre-K centers are standalone buildings that only offer 3K and pre-K grades and classrooms. If you work at one of these sites, you are an employee of the City of New York, of New York City Public Schools. The green hands represent charter schools. New York City Public Schools works with about 15 to 20 charters in New York City that offer early childhood programming. They usually have their own HR and their own hiring practices, but this is an option for you as a teacher candidate as well. Lastly, we have New York City Early Childhood Education Centers, which are known as community-based organizations, or CBOs, and those are the orange hands. CBOs are independent, community-based organizations that contract with New York City Public Schools to provide free early child care programming. There are over 1,200 across New York City. Each CBO employs its own teachers, and these teachers are not employees of the City of New York. As a teacher candidate, it's important to understand the benefits of CBOs in order to maximize your job search and your potential to securing a teaching position. One thing that sets CBOs apart is that they are 100% focused on early childhood education. Because of this, all activities, classroom layout, professional development for teachers, selection of educators, family and community programming are done with young children in mind. They are also known for their small size, family feel, and their connection to their communities. This allows for a more supportive environment that's really valuable to a new teacher and allows you to establish and build strong relationships with the families and communities right from the start. Because there are so many CBOs across the city, they really vary in size, location, and mission. Some of these organizations are run by nonprofits and community-based organizations. Others are nursery schools or daycare centers. This allows you as a candidate to tailor your job search and find a position that meets your educational philosophy and your teaching needs, whether those are based on geography or position. If you are certified in early childhood, be sure to say yes to CBOs on your teacher application so that hundreds of hiring managers have access to your resume. You can view positions on the early childhood job board and really maximize your job opportunities. So how do you find the right position? Well, you research schools online, conduct outreach to schools directly. Even if you're in the new teacher finder, we really recommend that you reach out to schools via email, reach out to a principal, ask about openings, and we find that candidates are most successful when they're doing this outreach. You're using the new teacher finder and other job boards to see all the opportunities that are available across the city. You're taking opportunities to network with colleagues, professors, and friends, and make sure to attend the New York City Public Schools networking events, and especially the student-teacher networking event that's coming up on April 22nd as well. As student teachers, you are in a unique position in terms of networking because you're already on the ground in New York City Public Schools. So here are some ways you can leverage these relationships to support your job search. Make sure you're asking the principal of your school of your placement school if they have any vacancies for fall 2026. Connect with teachers at your school about their networks if they know of any vacancies at other schools. Make sure you're asking your field supervisor about any district connections that they may have. And connect with your classmates about their student teaching experiences, opportunities that might be available at their placement schools. By registering for the student teacher program, you'll have access to career and professional development events that are exclusive to student teachers. So make sure you register and take advantage of those opportunities to support your job search, particularly our networking events that are just for student teachers. One of the most helpful job search tools is the new Teacher Finder, or NTF. Once you submit a high quality application, you will get access to the new Teacher Finder. You will be able to log in and use the new Teacher Finder in several ways. First, your application profile will become viewable to principals and recruiters. Secondly, you'll be able to search for teaching positions. It's important to know that not all principals list positions in the NTF, but many do, and this will give you a sense of what's out there. Principals may not post positions, but they could be reviewing resumes to see which candidate can be a good fit for their school. So you want to make sure your resume is in there. If you're certified in a high needs subject area, you could be receiving invitations to New York City Public Schools sponsored recruiting events during the summer. Here's a screenshot of what the new Teacher Finder, or NTF, looks like. After selecting Search All Positions on the left panel, you can filter for the position type, your preferred borough, grade level, and subject area. Principals enter their vacancies into the NTF, and while you can express interest via the NTF, you should also email principals directly. As I said, that's how we find candidates have the most success. During this process, you're going to want to research different schools. To learn more about a specific school, you can go to schools.nyc.gov and use the school search feature right on the homepage. You can search for schools by name, borough, or grade level to help narrow down your options. However, you'll want to remember that the tool lists every school in our system, not just those with openings. Once you've identified schools that interest you, you will need to contact them directly to inquire about positions and availability. Clicking on an individual school's name will take you to a page that contains a wealth of information about a school. You can click on the school website to go directly to their site. You can click on Overview to see some data about their grade levels, enrollment, district, and more. You can click on School Quality for direct links to school quality guides and reports for the school. And click on Reports for additional information about school programs, finances, and more. So this is a tool you should definitely take advantage of as you're targeting schools and learning more about different districts and schools during the job search process. As you are conducting your job search, you'll want to think about ways to stand out virtually. This can include creating a portfolio, ensuring your cover letter and resume are strong, they're clear and specific, and even uploading a portfolio or videos of demo lessons. You can upload all this information in the Spotlight section of the new Teacher Finder so that principals can see it when they view your application. You can also send the information directly to principals and hiring managers via email when you're conducting your outreach. Note that your demo lesson should be uploaded to an online platform like Google or Dropbox, and then you can include the link in your portfolio. With the right strategies and approaches, you can find the position that's right for you at New York City Public Schools. I want to transition now to next steps and questions. Make sure you're visiting the Online Support Center. The Online Support Center is your 24/7 resource for support with application and the hiring process. The Support Center contains hundreds of articles about every stage of the application and hiring process, as well as a Contact Us button where you can submit your question to the TRQ Help Desk for a personalized response. During our events, we get a lot of questions in the chat, and it's difficult to answer all the questions live, and it can be helpful to have more information on your application as well. So if we're not able to answer your question today, definitely make sure you're submitting a Contact Us form through the Online Support Center. So this is a really important link to scan, a really important link to save. If you go to teachnyc.net, you can find a link to the Online Support Center as well. Make sure that you're following us on social media. We are very active on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Last season, we reached millions of prospective and current teachers through our posts. So make sure you follow us and tag us to join in the conversation. I want to highlight, you should definitely check us out on YouTube, watch video recordings of all of our information sessions, teacher spotlights, and more. All of our information sessions are recorded and posted to YouTube. So if you want to learn more about teacher salaries, we have a whole information session on that. If you want to learn more about the internship certification, we have a whole information session on that. If you just want to be inspired, learn more about what it's like to be a teacher at New York City Public Schools, we have videos on that. So definitely check out our YouTube page. Highly recommend it. Again, I recommend subscribing. This is the way to make sure you're receiving all the information that we're offering on upcoming opportunities and events. I just posted that in the chat again. So please make sure to subscribe. Before we transition to questions here, I want to make sure I'm highlighting, I see my colleagues shared in the chat the link to register for the student teacher networking event on the 22nd. I'm posting it again. Definitely register. This is going to be a great event. You'll have the opportunity to hear from leaders. You'll have the opportunity to network with fellow student teachers, network with principals who are hiring. Again, the event is on April 22nd, so make sure that you're registering for that event as soon as possible. Taisha, were there any questions in the chat that were common that you want to address?
Yes, the first question about the recording, you received that in 24 to 40 hours. People were asking if they receive a recording. Someone had mentioned about a student teacher list being closed. I didn't understand what that meant. I don't know if you would have an idea, Steph.
Sure. I can answer that. Anything else?
And then for the certification section, if people have dual certification, how do they express that in their application? In the application, you have to upload supporting documents. So you could just upload a copy of both the certification areas and include that in your application as your subject area to be evaluated. Also questions about people who may have applied to NYCPS in prior years and did not accept offers. If there's still chances if they apply, we would welcome your application and we'll review it. If it's successfully screened, you'll get access to the NTF and still have access to our opportunities. And then questions around demo lessons if they're in person or recorded.
Got it. Yeah, the demo lessons are definitely something you're able to add to your profile in the NTF that's recorded. We have more information in the online support center. I recommend you take a look. I would underscore what Taisha said. If you've applied in the past, please apply again. We get a lot of folks who apply and maybe take another position, or they don't get the position that they wanted and apply again and find the right spot for them. And for those of you who are asking for the survey to indicate that you're a student teacher from this year, so that you can make sure you're taking advantage of all the benefits of the student teacher program, I shared that link in the chat. So make sure you're filling that out. Let us know you're a student teacher. This is separate from the subscribe form on our website. This is specific to student teachers. So if you fill out both, you'll make sure you're maximizing your opportunities to hear about all of the benefits and resources that are out there. Taking a look at the questions in the chat here to see if there's anything else. We'll hang out on the line here for another few minutes. So if you have any questions, please make sure you submit them. And otherwise, have a great evening and thank you for joining us.